The most common rally mistake I've seen handlers make is they don't pause when they walk around their dog. So you have an exercise where it's sit, walk around your dog at the novice level. There's also down, walk around your dog. And when you get to the upper levels, there's a stand, walk around your dog. The principal part of the exercise is the dog stays while you walk around and you pause before you move on. So the incorrect way is have a heel, halt, stay. Heel. So notice how I didn't pause as soon as I walked around her and got into heel position. I just kept on moving and I asked her to heel. That will earn you 10 points off because you did not perform the principal part of the exercise. At least you've attempted the exercise. So if you have enough points, you can still qualify. So now let me show you the right way to do it. Heel, halt, stay. Pause with my feet together, heel. So if you stop with your feet together and give an obvious visual pause, you're not going to make the judge think, and the judge will give you full credit for that exercise. If you don't want to put your feet together, another way to pause is if you walk around your dog, you come back into heel position, and again, you still just pause, but my feet aren't together, but I throw my shoulders back, obviously stop, and then I can ask my dog to continue on with me. Another common mistake is when people miscount the 1-step, 2-step, 3-step at the novice level. You have both the one where you're heeling, you halt, the dog sits. 1 step forward, halt, the dog sits. 2 steps forward, you halt, the dog sits. 3 steps forward, you halt, the dog sits. So think of it as 3 strides, not 3 steps. Because what I see quite often, people will do the 1-step, 2-step correctly, but then what they'll do is 1, 2, 3. So what they're doing is calling each foot plant a step, but that was only 2 strides. So if you think of it as 1, 2 feet together, now you'll know it's only 2 steps. So then you need to know when you get to the 3 steps, 1, 2, 3 feet together. And the same thing goes when it's called front and back up. So again, I can call my dog front and I can back up to get that straight front. It's 1 step, feet together, dog sits. 2 steps, dog comes with me, feet together, dog sits. 3 steps, dog comes with me, feet together and sits. What I see people do incorrectly, and for some reason it's Doberman handlers. So Doberman people, please count your strides, not when your foot hits the ground, okay? Because what I see people do is when they're backing up for the 3 steps, it's 1, 2, 3. And again, it's not 3 footfalls, it's 3 strides. So your 3 steps back is 1, 2, 3 feet together. Another mistake I see where handlers will get points off is they return to their dog incorrectly. So at several exercises, you're leaving your dog and you're returning, and the most well-known one is at the excellent level, where at the end of the entire exercise, you're leaving your dog in a sit, going and getting your leash and returning to your dog. Stay. So when I leave my dog, I need to return by walking around to the heel position, the same way you would return to your dog in any of the obedience exercises. What I have seen people do, stay, is when they return to their dog, they have gone straight back to the heel position, and that will get you 10 points off because you did not perform the principal part of the exercise correctly. The next 2 common mistakes I see are at the very beginning before you actually start the course. It's when you're at the start line and the judge asks if you're ready. People are afraid to say no. It's okay to say no or to not even answer if you're not ready. If you're busy trying to get your dog into heel position and you're looking down at your dog, and you're obviously focused and trying to work, you do not have to tell the judge you're ready. It's better if you answer than if you ignore. Most judges, if they see you working with your dog, will actually not ask you if you're ready yet. But I've seen some judges, if the handlers ignored them, they dinged them with points for not following the judge's instructions. So please answer the judge. At the same time, I have seen people answer the judge with their release word. So when the judge asks me if I'm ready, I say I am. That is nothing that I ever say to my dog when I'm working her, but I've seen some people say ready or yes, and see how she's ready to move. Ready to her means we're going. If she goes out ahead of me, we're no longer a team. When I say yes, that usually means the treat is coming when I'm training her. Same thing, she got out of position. She thought that job was done. So anytime you cause your dog to leave the position, to delay starting, or disconnect from you, you're risking points off. So don't respond yes when the judge asks if you're ready. If you're not, don't respond in the affirmative, and do not use a word that you normally use when training your dog that will make them think they get to move, even though the judge didn't give you the cue to start moving yet. A mistake I've seen at the end of the class is that people do not leave the ring with their dog under control. If their dog is dragging them out, if their dog is spinning, if their dog is barking at another dog that's right outside the ring as you take them out, that can not only get you points off, that might get you excused where you wouldn't be able to qualify at all. So be sure that just like in obedience, you leave the ring with your dog under control. So let me show you what an NQ will look like. Yay, good girlie! Oh my goodness! Here we go. So make sure you leave the ring with your dog under control right here. Right here. I just put the leash on, so we can leave the ring happy and excited, but she cannot drag me out of the ring. She cannot jump on me. It's okay if I say yay and she gives a little hop up to celebrate, but it's got to be controlled. She needs to immediately get back to work so we can leave the ring with manners. Ready? Here we go. I see this next mistake mostly at the novice level. People will disconnect from their dog to read the sign and think through what it is because they're not really familiar with the signs. So when you're walking up to that sign, if you don't already know it, but it would be nice if you did, try to read it from a distance. So by the time you get there, you can immediately get your dog into working. The best thing would be if you were already familiar with the signs. You can download all the information off the AKC website. There's some apps you can use. So the information is out there. There's no reason to disconnect and try to think through that sign when you're in the ring. Not only that, but at the novice level, your stress level is just through the roof, and all of that will cause the dog to disconnect. And then even now that you read the sign and you know what to do, you can't get your dog's attention back. So make sure you know what each sign is before you go into the ring. People who've competed in obedience before they get to rally treat rally like an obedience class. They're afraid to talk to their dog. They're afraid to praise their dog. They're afraid to give their dog a second command, because a lot of that in obedience will get you a non-qualifying score. Especially if your dog's a little bit stressed out, it's okay to tell them they're good. And it's okay to repeat the lesson. Maddie, come here. Are you ready? Maddie, heel. Come right here. Here you go. Good girlie. So I can talk to her. I can tell her she's good. I can get her attention. Heel. Good girl. Oopsie. Good girl. Better. Now, we would be scored for a crooked sit because she did sit crooked to begin with before she self-adjusted. But no judge is going to fault me for getting her back in place, and she understands her job. Good girly. Ready? Mavy, come. Nice girly. Do this. Good girl. So again, I can talk to her all I want. If I'm heeling and she's not in position, get back. I can talk to her. I'm not going to get faulted like I would be in obedience. Sit. Good girl. When you come to a halt in rally, okay, if they don't sit right away, you can tell them more than once. If you don't tell them and they're extremely slow to respond or they don't respond at all, you're going to get points off. So if I'm heeling, I can come to a sign that says halt. I can say halt, sit. I just gave my dog a double command. In obedience, that's going to be an NQ. First of all, I can't tell my dog to sit in obedience. But in rally, since I said that so quickly, I have never been faulted for something like that. But if I come up to the sign and stop and expect my dog to sit because it's obedience and my dog doesn't sit, and then I have to say sit. So that was a slow response. That can get you 1 to 3 points off. So just remember, it's okay to repeat commands. It's okay to say commands in the first place you're not allowed to say in obedience. And it's okay to praise your dog in the rally ring. Another common mistake I see is when handlers move their feet when they shouldn't. So again, this is following the regs where you must do what the principal part of the exercise tells you to do. So Mavy heel. At the novice level for call dog front finish, I am allowed to back up. Maverick, come. Good girl. But when I have them come to heel, if I need to move my feet to get them into heel position, I just got 10 points off. I got all the points off for that exercise because I did not do what the principal part of the exercise said, which was dog finishes left or finishes right if that's what the exercise is, and handler does not move feet. At the advanced level and above, there's an exercise where you come to a halt, the dog sits, then you call the dog front, Maverick, come, sit, good girl. So you saw where I bounced my knees forward, my feet never moved. I would get full credit for that, no points deducted. Not only did I not move my feet, but she's also very straight. And then again, when she finishes heel, I'm not allowed to move my feet. Good girl, good girl. But if I came to a halt and then I had to step forward to get her to come, that's 10 points off because I did not do the principal part of the exercise, which is handler stops, dog sits, handler calls dog front without the handler moving the feet, and then dog finishes without the handler moving the feet. So if I had to step back to get her into heel position, or before that, if I had to step forward to get her to come, that would be an incomplete performance, which meant I did not do what the principal part of the exercise said, and I would get a full 10 points off. Okay, I'll see this next mistake more commonly at the novice level because handlers are just so stressed they don't know what they're allowed to do and not to do. So at the exercise with call front and then maybe finish left, sometimes my dog likes to spin the other direction. So if I just left it at that and went on because let's say I'm at the novice level and I'm totally stressed out and I don't know what I can do, or even though somebody told me before I went in that I could reattempt the exercise, I'm just so stressed I don't have the presence of mind to reattempt it. So if I moved on from that, it would be a full 10 points off because she did not complete the exercise as we were supposed to, but at least we attempted it. So we can still qualify if we get enough points, but 10 points off. But if she did this incorrectly, Maverick heel, I can reattempt the exercise, and now it's only 3 points off. So a lot of times, Maverick might turn the wrong direction the first time, but if we reattempt it, then she settles down and she'll do it better the second time. So if we only attempted it once, it's 10 points off because we did it wrong. But if we reattempted it and did it correctly, then it's only 3 points off. So don't forget, you can reattempt, but you cannot reattempt more than once at that exercise. Okay. All the mistakes I've explained so far, you could still qualify with those mistakes, except for leaving the ring out of control. That could be an excusal. It may be points off. It depends on how bad the infraction is. But if you have at least a score of 70, you could still qualify. The one mistake that I have seen where you will not qualify is if you completely skip a sign and do not even attempt it. I see this more commonly at the upper levels because there's so many more exercises and it's congested. You're not as likely to see that sign when you're actually working your dog, especially if you have a bigger dog or if you have a high energy dog, because you're spending so much more attention to the dog than the exercises that it's easy to skip something. It's also easy to skip a sign when you have an exercise that is more involved and you're just so busy you don't even see the next sign. So the very first time I entered the master class, the master class was brand new. It wasn't even a month old yet. And I entered with my dog and 2 exercises were super close together. And even though I walked it correctly before the class, by the time I got in there with my dog and she was so big and high energy and I was paying attention to her, I just didn't see the next sign. So we did not qualify. But we had a perfect score up until then. That was like the second to the last class. So I'll show you the 2 exercises that were there that we missed with that. So ready? Okay, so the clover leaf takes up a lot of space. And the next sign you see is very, very close to it. Heel. So we go through the center, wrap around the cone, go through the center, wrap around the cone, through the center, wrap around the cone, and exit. And my dog is so high energy right now and I'm paying so much attention to her. I didn't see this sign. I blew right past it. That is not only 10 points off. That is an NQ. You just had a non-qualifying score and you just killed your run. So when you have something like this and you see how close it is in the walkthrough, and it's not even the clover leaf at the master level, any class, any level, especially if you have a large dog, it is very appropriate during the walkthrough to approach the judge and say, will you please look at the spacing at that exercise? I have concerns because my dog is so big. That is appropriate. Ask with respect. Most judges will be happy to check it out. And most judges would probably adjust it just a bit. Okay, so don't be afraid to ask, because if you miss a sign, you just did not qualify for your run.